Hey everyone, how are y'all? Avery and Betty Joe, how are y'all? All right, y'all, give me just a second. I'm trying to get everything pulled up here that I'm going to need tonight. Vapor, how are you? I'm doing all right, y'all. I'm burning up. Honestly, it is hot here. Linda G, how are you? Okay, I don't know what's up with Nightbot. He's not wanting to work for some reason. That he is. Oh, Linda, I'm so sorry. I hope you start feeling better soon. Hey, cool gamer, how are you? All right, give me just a second. I'm putting the link out for someone. All right. Y'all don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Put your chat on live chat so you'll be able to see all of the comments in the chat. And now Nightbot decides it wants to work. Okay, so hey Meta Mom, how are you? We've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot, a lot, a lot. Like 90 pages. Um, Crystal that we were talking about the other night, her sister was in the chat. Betty Jo and Avery, give me 1 second. I'll bring y'all up. She was in the chat the other night. Thank you, Linda. And was wanting to discuss. Hey, Tiff, how are you? Her sister's case. She's from Northeast Louisiana. Her sister's case has been ruled as suicide, but the family thinks that there's more to it than that, and they're wanting the case to be reinvestigated. She sent me a file the other night, 90 pages worth of stuff that just the family, mainly Crystal's brother and sister, that they have found in regards to Crystal's husband. Um, there's some other stuff that I have found in the Facebook group that she has put out. She is supposed to come up on panel tonight. I don't know yet if she's going to be able to. I know that when I talked to her earlier, she said that she was, but I know the other night she had said something about a baby there at the house, so she may not get to till later on in the live. Hey HT, how are you? All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get started on it, and then she can come in and come up whenever she gets ready. I did send it to Avery as well, so Avery has uh, went through the whole 90 pages of what Crystal's sister Jana had sent to me the other night. Okay, how are y'all?
Good.
I just want to know who was first.
I don't know because whenever I looked, y'all were both already sitting there. So I have no idea.
Well, I can tell I was first because I'm on top.
Well, so what? It'll make a bit of difference.
I don't know. I just whenever I said for y'all just to give me 1 second, I would pull y'all both up. That's when I noticed that y'all were there, and y'all will have to excuse my voice. I feel like it's
I'm
like
not racing. I don't know why she wants to be first.
It sounds like you're losing your voice.
I know I think it's the weather, because it's been hot all day today again. It's like, well, to me, it's been hot. I have the air and the fan going, and
Here.
it's cool there for a while. It got really hot the other day when it was storming. So it kind of like feels like it's trying to leave me again.
And you're still not using a vaporizer or a
No.
humidifier.
No, I'm not.
What am I going to do with you?
I need to go get it. It's in the cabinet in my bathroom. I need to get it out. But
Yeah, I did go over all the 90 pages. I went through everything in the Facebook group, and I've watched every YouTube video that they have, every TikTok video, and pretty much every news article I could find.
Oh, I'm glad you were able to get through the videos, because okay, so when I sent it to you this morning, the document that she had sent to me, I had started going over it the other night, and then I was like, no, I need like a full day for this because there's so much in it. So I started going back over it this morning, and then I had to lay down because I didn't feel good. So I lay down, fell asleep, and got back up and started going back over it again. I just finished the 90 pages just a little while ago, because I was making sure that I read everything thoroughly, and because I have notes, I have questions.
Right.
And so her sister just wrote me back, because I did send her the link to come on panel, but she says she'll be in chat. She may not be able to sneak away from the sleeping kids and come on panel in a little while, but she'll be in the chat for sure. So
okay.
So let me answer her back real quick. Okay. But yeah, I have questions. I feel horrible for the way that this family has been treated. The stuff that, and if it wasn't for Jana and her brother going through and finding all of this different stuff and contacting the people that they've got in contact with and went and spoke to people and everything, this case would have just been ruled one way, and it would have been left at that. But because Crystal's husband, Tony, worked for the sheriff's department, and I believe they are still in the process of trying to verify if he still works there or not, or they were a couple of months ago.
Did you find out if the state closed their investigation?
The state, it was only the parish.
Oh, okay.
Because she did contact someone with LSP, Louisiana State Police. The parish didn't want the state coming in and doing an investigation because they said that there was no need in them coming in and doing an investigation.
Oh boy.
Y'all, it's a lot. There's no way that I can okay, Meta Mom, that's fine. There's no way I can just go through and read this whole 90 pages in one night. Avery will tell you there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that she did. Hey, Jana, how are you? Okay,
Hi,
so
Jana.
Jana says, in regards to your question, Avery, the state wasn't invited in by the parish, so they couldn't come in. Because I mean, we've seen it in other cases where, like the FBI has to be asked to come in. Hey, Scott, how are you? In paper, that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like someone is covering someone else's ass. The dude worked for the sheriff's department over there.
My other question, while she's right there in chat, because I looked through every, like I said, all 90 pages. I went through everything on Facebook, all the YouTube videos, all the TikTok videos, the autopsy report. I still don't see where a test was done for gunshot residue on her hand. And I don't know if I missed it, but I do not see that test anywhere.
I know in this 90 pages that she sent to me, there was something. God, y'all, there is so much. Okay, she said no tests were. Oh wait, no tests were done for GSR.
See, that's what I thought. So that the the sheriff had told her that they were sending the gun to ballistics for testing. But it was like something like 90 days later is when he finally sent it off, and they still haven't received any results. But that still wouldn't have anything to do with gunshot residue. So there was no swipe of her hand at all.
Okay, and she says no DNA testing either.
There's so much. I've seen where they even changed the trajectory.
Okay, you had told me that. Where did you see that at? Because when I was going through the 90 pages, I only seen from, and I'm trying not to be graphic on here, but it went from right to left.
Well, so they were. So what I read, and if I'm wrong, she can say. Initially, they were saying left to right, which would be her non-dominant hand. But then somehow along the way, I seen where it changed to right to left. But then I seen on her death certificate where it says that she was found positioned laying on her right side. So how could it possibly be right to left? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, because that was also brought up in the Facebook group. Somebody had asked about that. And it was one of the comments asked, well, could they have been meaning that she was laying on the right side of the bed, but they just didn't word it correctly.
It says on the right side of her body.
Yeah, there is.
It's a cover-up.
I think there's more to it. They didn't even spell Crystal's name correctly. Was it the hold on, because there's 6 pages of the autopsy report. I have 5 of them. I've got to go get the 6th one that I'm missing off the Facebook group, but let me get it pulled up here real quick.
There was so much that was mind-blowing to me. Like they said, her reproductive organs were unremarkable.
But she doesn't have any.
Yeah. There's so much that I just don't understand. I just literally don't understand.
There was a lot. I'm going to pull this up. I'm not going to show the whole thing.
It's to protect him. That's basically what it is.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm just going to show a couple of different things that I found. Her name right here, spelled incorrectly. It's not Chrystal. It doesn't even have an H in her first name.
Right.
What was her date of birth? 5/17/19. I saw where it should be 5/17/79.
Yeah.
There's so many mistakes there.
Her eye color, black.
Yes, but I did see that her eye color was supposed to be brown. They have on another document that her hair was blondish brown with red fluid in it. But it says right here that she has black hair. We saw the pictures that she has black hair. Over here, and this is what she had highlighted in yellow, it has date and time, 2/9/23, which is the date of her death. It has 10:35 that was typed in here, but then it was marked out and put 5:05. But if you go back and look at her, let me get it pulled up here real quick. The death certificate.
It's all a cover-up to protect him.
The death certificate right here, see, she outlined it, time of death 5:05 is when she was found, which we have seen that in a lot of different cases that they put the time of death as the time that they were found. Right. Hey, Scarface, how are you? There's a lot of different things that
I'm saying it's
are just. But how do you get someone's name spelled wrong on a report?
And so much other information. But I've seen where so many different people were telling her that there's no way possible that they can give a time of death. There's just no way. They were telling her this over and over and over again.
Girl, let me
But
tell
we all know from, well, I mean, I know, like, us true crime people, we know. I know from studying forensics in college, I know that there are a lot of various ways to tell how many hours a person
Yes,
has been deceased.
that's where a lot of my time went today, because he was telling her that the coroner does not establish a time of death or a cause of death. Okay. And that was, y'all probably saw where I had posted, I think it was two different links in the Discord channel that I have for Crystal. And I just put on there, I'm putting those in there so I can come back to them at a later time, because it was something I was looking for. And that's what I was looking for. For 100% fact, the coroner can't establish a cause of death. Now, the time of death, unless you have a video with a time stamp on it saying, or you were actually there and watched the person take their last breath, can you tell the exact on point 100% time that the person passed away? But yes, there are ways, and I screenshotted a couple of different ways, and even there was a couple of things about the eyes, where, because Jana had asked the coroner about the eye color. And I even looked that up, and I have several different screenshots that I took of the different ways that they can tell, determine not an exact time of death, but an estimated time. They have 11 o'clock. The sheriff like to threw a fit over when he was saying, well, the coroner doesn't establish the cause of death or a time of death. That's like, he went ballistic. And yes, Vapor, unfortunately, she was cremated against the family's wishes.
Yep.
Which we have seen once again, the Kylie Rodney case. They hurry up and they cremate them, and it makes it look like that there is something that they are trying to hide, even though Crystal's sister Jana, she said she contacted several different attorneys trying to stop the cremation from happening. It still happened. And y'all, there's so much in these 90 pages that she sent to me that the family has found.
It's unreal.
That, hey, King Scarlet, that just the way, they were wanting her ashes divided up into 4, because she has 2 sons, her mom, and then the husband. The way the husband sent the ashes to one of the sons, it was just, to me, complete lack of respect for his wife. Stuff that he was looking up just a couple of days after she passed away on Google, like how soon is too soon to start dating after a spouse passes away.
Right.
He comes with another woman to her viewing, and the man at the funeral home has to tell him that it's not appropriate to bring a female with you who is not family to the viewing of your wife's body.
Yeah,
it's just, and this that I have pulled up on the screen is what Avery was talking about, that it has on there. It describes how the injury occurred. Victim was found, AR residence in bed, lying on right side. Now, is this her laying on her right side of her body? Is this her laying on the right side of the bed? They should have been a little bit more specific with how they put that.
Well, see, if these people knew how to spell, because it should say found at residence, so obviously they can't spell. If it would have said laying on the right side of the bed, laying on the right side, then I would think it would have been the right side of the bed. But when it's worded lying on right side, that tells me. But then again, these people couldn't spell found at residence, so
yes, and she just pointed out victim is spelled wrong too right here. VICTU instead of VICT. Look,
ridiculous.
I've spoken several times. I have a degree in medical terminology. Anytime you do a patient's dictation for their medical records, or even something like this, the person who does the dictation or gives you the notes is supposed to go back and check the work before it is a final uh, the final part of it is done.
Right.
So this should have been checked before it was sent to the family. This should have never even been stamped by the state of Louisiana
Yeah,
and sent to the family.
I agree.
Okay, and I'm fixing to pull up. Let me grab it real quick because there is several. Okay, let me go to page 1. Okay, this is. I'm just trying to make sure there's no personal information on here when I'm showing it. But they have her name spelled wrong right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How do you? I don't understand how someone spells a victim's name in their autopsy report wrong.
Hmm.
How do they say that organs are unremarkable when she doesn't even have those organs?
Hmm.
How do they say that she had? Well, hold on, I'll have to find it because I want to make sure that I'm saying the correct way that it was put on
sounds
here.
like they got somebody else's information mixed in with hers.
Well, see, that's what Jana sent him an email, and I have screenshots of the emails that I did get off of the Facebook group. I have asked Jana if I can show this. She said yes, so I do have the permission to show it. Okay, hold on. What am I looking for? There was a certain thing on here that I was looking for.
It just sounds suspicious.
Oh, it's very suspicious. Let's get right here.
I wanted to tell Jana, before I forget, to look at how Ellen Greenberg's parents are handling her, basically same situation, like the steps that they've taken to get this to higher authorities to investigate and look into it, because they've made a lot of progress. And if she could just kind of look into that case and see what those parents have done, that might help to guide her to like what she needs to do next.
Okay, by the way, what kind of paper is it printed on? That isn't any kind of seal watermark on the paper. It looks like. All I can say, paper is this is Louisiana. I mean, honestly, that's all I can say. Okay, this is what I was wanting to pull up here. There's just so many different things that the family found in this. Once again, they have her first name spelled incorrectly, and this is part of the autopsy report. She did also notice that there was 2 different case numbers.
Yeah, something don't sound right.
Okay, so her body temperature, and I did tell her this morning when I had spoke to her on Facebook that I was going to go back and look at some of the other autopsy reports that we've read with different cases that we've covered. I don't think any of them's ever had body temperature listed as cold that I can remember. They've always had a temperature that they've taken. So that was one.
They definitely should have a temperature.
Right. I mean, you just come in and say the body's cold. Well, cold could be a lot of different temperatures. Hey, Cheech, how are you?
Yeah. Yep. I was thinking maybe since this was under the external findings, maybe a temperature would be on the internal, but I don't see that anywhere. So I didn't see a temperature anywhere.
Okay. So they have her hair right here, blondish brown. They spelled the word brown wrong and sold with the red fluid. Her eyeliner was in place. Eyes are hazel. Her eyes were black or brown. And I'm going to go over the email that she sent to the coroner regarding all this and what his response to all this was.
Sounds like the coroner is an incompetent idiot.
From what I had,
think this is the medical examiner.
Well, whoever he is, he sounds
Well,
like
whichever one. The fact is that he allowed this report to be put out and did not go over
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And if you look up his name, he has a lot of Arkansas, I believe, and Louisiana. He has a lot of oh, what do you call it? Not complaints, but more. It's a step
Where
above that.
investigations.
He has a lot, a
Yeah.
lot.
He should
Okay,
have been fired a
Jana.
long time ago.
Okay, so Jana, I remember that being said in the document that you had sent to me about but was that Lewis Carter or was that Frank Peretti that had all the investigations in
Frank
Arkansas?
Peretti is
Okay.
the medical examiner.
All right, so he's the one that had all the stuff in the sanctions in Arkansas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I knew it was one of them, but I didn't write down which one it was.
Is there somebody above him?
Well, yeah, and that's what I can do tomorrow is I can put together a list of which she probably, I mean, Jana sounds very intelligent, so she may already be on it, but I can put together a list of the different steps I know that the Greenbergs, are taking with their daughter because it was ruled a suicide, but it's a homicide.
Okay, but where are they from?
Um, New York, Connecticut.
Different states do different things, so.
Well, they've taken it above out. It's not state level any longer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then where was the other one?
I would say, I would have. Does she have a private investigator or somebody?
Yes,
Okay.
she does have. Yeah, she does because that was one thing that I had asked her this morning, if she had one, and she does.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so there was also, I thought it was on this page, but it's not. But in 2000, I believe it was February of 2011, Crystal was in a really bad. No, Vapor, it's not. Was in a really bad car accident in Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
She had a broken back.
Mm-hmm.
She had, I forgot, and Jana, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to go off the memory here, but she had surgeries. Well, in this autopsy report, they don't even comment about any surgeries that she had to her back or anything like that.
Well,
Yes.
it said specifically no former broken bones, no current broken bone, like no previous broken bone. And I was thinking, wow, because I've got back injuries from a car accident. I'm only a year and a half in, but you're going to see that forever.
Oh yeah. You're going to see that
It's almost as if they have confused her autopsy
with
with
somebody else.
somebody else. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, she
They
was
got
in.
somebody's information mixed up with her information.
That's what it sounds like. And she asked that in the email that I'm going to show here in a minute. But Jana says that she was in a turtle shell on her back from a broken vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's how my son was when he had his motorcycle accident. He broke his back.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see heel breaks. They're called remodeled. Once they heal, they call it a remodeled, break or a remodeled, they call it remodeling. You can see that forever.
Yeah, and you're gonna feel it forever because you're gonna have arthritis.
Okay, let me.
This is just mind blowing.
I'm saying it just sounds like they got somebody else's information on her. I don't know. It sounds like a big old cover up to me just to protect him.
Okay, so this is an email that Jana sent to Mr. Peretti, or Dr. Peretti. And it was sent 12/25/23. It says, Dr. Peretti, I hope this email finds you well. I apologize for bothering you so soon after the holidays, but it is a must that I reach out to you in an attempt to clear a few things up. My sister passed away February 9, 2023 in Oak Grove, Louisiana, which is West Carroll Parish. You performed her autopsy and her death was ruled a suicide. Since her passing, I have worked endlessly alongside some very amazing professionals to get some more definite answers as to exactly what happened to her on that tragic day. Due to the endless hours put in, quite a bit of evidence has surfaced, and the attorneys working with me are reaching out to the sheriff and the DA in an attempt to have her case reopened. I am emailing you to ask out of curiosity why a couple of things on your, and you gotta give me a second because I gotta get the next page. All right, and can y'all see that? Not all.
I can.
Okay. All right. So on the report are not accurate when describing my sister. I want to be certain that there is no mix-up due to her husband having her body cremated. Hey, Dan, how are you? Her first name is spelled Chrystal in the report, but her legal spelling is Crystal. I'm speechless on that part. I just don't understand how you get a person's name spelled incorrectly. Her hair is listed as being blondish brown and her eyes is hazel, but her hair was black and her eyes almost just as black. It states that her cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spine showed no obvious old fractures or abnormalities, when in fact she had a major car accident 12 years ago that broke several bones in her back and put her in a turtle shell back brace for quite some time. It states that her female reproductive organs were unremarkable, when in fact she had recently undergone a full hysterectomy less than a year before she passed away. On her extremities, it mentions no abnormalities, but when I viewed her body to prepare her hair and makeup, before her viewing, there was bruises on her inner thighs and around her wrist, particularly the right one, along with completely missing, and she did have a fingernail that was missing on her hand. Okay, so she's missing a fingernail on her freshly manicured hands. I have photos and records to provide to support all of this evidence I have given you. You are more than welcome to it, and I apologize as I know it is a lot. This has been a tough year, and I'm just hoping to get answers. Now, yeah, everything that Jana and the brother was doing should have been the cops.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Absolutely. A family should not have to do the cops or sheriffs or anybody's investigation for them.
I would like. I'm sorry, Betty Jo. Go ahead.
It should be the cops doing this, not her and her family.
Yeah, the family should not have to do
They should be
this.
giving her answers. And the right answers, not the false answers.
I would like to know what her husband's affect was like the day of this incident, when she seen him standing outside of the house. Was he crying? Was he distraught?
I know in one thing that I read, I can't remember if it was him or his daughter, was not crying. Okay, she says no emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, she dies on February the 9th, and how many days later was it that he was Googling how soon is too soon to start dating after your spouse passes away?
Yeah.
He wanted money from a GoFundMe. He was wanting to know about a insurance policy through her job because she worked with State Farm.
Yeah.
Somewhere. I was telling Scarlett too, and the thing about at the karate studio with the stretching and the inappropriate touching, I don't understand that, because we've done karate from Arizona to here in Alabama, and you guys know my son still does karate. I did karate for years and years and years. Both my daughters did karate. My son still does karate. None of us have ever been stretched by an instructor, ever, not one time.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm trying to find the second part
I've never
of this
even
email.
heard of that.
Wait, I must have screenshotted. Hold on. Why do I have the same ones 4 different times on my computer?
So I just wondered, is it something different in Louisiana where they stretch people that are taking martial arts? I don't understand that. Very weird to me.
I have no idea. I never took martial arts. Okay, so apparently I did not screenshot. I don't know why I did the same one 3 different times, but this is. I'm gonna have to go back and find it also. Okay, so this is Dr. Peretti responding back to Jana. So I'm responding to your email dated December the 25th, 2023. Response to question 1, on the investigative report, her name was spelled Crystal. I have changed the spelling to the correct spelling, Crystal. Response to question number 2, my note stated that her hair was black. This was a transcription error and has been corrected. Eye color changes after death and they appeared hazel at the time of the autopsy. Okay, if it does show that her hair is black on the autopsy report, but why put it in another part of it that it was blondish brown? That should have been checked before it was put out.
It just really sounds to me like they have mixed up report.
Well, you can't, but see, he's trying to blame it on the person who transcribed the dictation. You can't do that. Yes, they should have listened to it correctly, but you can't get blondish brown and black mixed up on a dictation when you're transcribing. There's just, unless you have a transcriptionist who is just completely green and doesn't know what they're doing and doesn't know how to type and listen at the same time, that's a very hard thing to do. But at the same time, he should have, or whoever is going back over these and doing a final check, that is also their fault. Yep. Because they should have checked that before that was put out before it even left their office. That should have been checked. I mean, these are legal documentation of a person who has passed away. Hey, Elsie. Okay, so response to question number 3. There was no documented skeletal fractures while examining the internal anterior vertebral bodies. Fractures may involve the posterior vertebral bodies, which we do not examine unless we are informed prior to the autopsy. Response to question number 4, my autopsy notes state that she had a hysterectomy. This correction has been made to the autopsy report. Why? If you did a thorough autopsy and you claim it's in your notes to begin with, you should not have to go back and change anything. That just makes me think that he did not do a thorough autopsy on Crystal when she deserved that. Her whole case should be thoroughly investigated, and it has not been.
It just doesn't make any. That whole statement doesn't even make any sense, because the posterior part of your vertebrae is basically the arches that are in your back, and I believe there's like 11 parts of them. That is literally looking at the vertebrae. If she had a broken vertebrae, it would have been seen.
Well, usually whenever they do autopsies, they do scans.
Yeah, his answer that it says it may have involved the posterior vertebral bodies which we do not examine, that doesn't make any sense. Because how can he say your lumbar is posterior?
Well, the thing is, though,
like 3 parts of your posterior.
when you're doing an exam or an autopsy like this, like I said, most of the ones that I have read, they do scans on the body. But they also get medical records
Mm-hmm.
to compare medical records of the people that they're doing the autopsies on, and compare those to what they find in the autopsy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? To make sure it wasn't something that happened at the time of death. They didn't do none of this.
Look at all these corrections he's talking about had to be made. I swear they've mixed up autopsy reports.
It's something I don't, and honestly, I don't know how many autopsies they're doing over there. But yeah, there's a lot going on here
Mm-hmm.
that should have not happened. Seriously.
A lot. This is beyond incompetence. This really just makes you. And the other case number that was on there, I wonder if there's any way to look up that case number to see if it belongs to somebody else's autopsy.
That would be something that her attorney would have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be public records.
Mm.
I think the other one, yes, here it is. So there's a 2023, which is the year 2023, and then 0126, and then the other one is 2023-0125.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 2 different case numbers for the same person.
When it should just be one case number for the one
For
person.
the whole thing,
For the whole
everything.
entire-
Yes.
Yeah.
I just.
Is he still a sheriff?
Okay, so I know that at the time that she was doing the 90-page document to me, they were basically getting the runaround. They was not getting, her and her brother, Jana and her brother, were not getting a straight answer as to whether or not he is still employed with the sheriff's department over there, because he was still on their website. Wait, this is not what I want to do. But let me go. Jana, is Tony still on their the sheriff's department page over there? Let me see if I can look it up.
He's no longer employed then.
Okay. They took him off the page.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
That
I mean,
doesn't,
Go ahead, Betty Jo.
it doesn't mean they won't cover it up for him.
No. But there is more to this guy.
It seems like there's more to the whole situation.
Well,
he was doing some things.
That's what I mean.
That his wife caught on to.
yeah, a week before, because I want to read it from Jana's words. Give me a second, because I got to go all the way up in this document. Let me pull this up real quick where y'all can see it. And this is page 1 of the 90 pages that she sent to me. But it says right here, the most relevant events prior to the date of her death. Approximately 1 week prior to her death, Crystal began tracking Mr. Jones' daily locations through his cell phone. Based on evidence collected throughout these documents, Crystal had grown suspicious of Mr. Jones' infidelity and, more importantly, his pedophilic behavior with underage girls that we discovered Crystal had gained knowledge of, which will be discussed in detail in a separate document presented below. The drastic drop in enrollment status at Inner Peace Martial Arts Studio, owned and operated by Mr. Jones and Crystal, shows that soon before her death, parents began withdrawing their children from the classes there for unknown reasons. All of this was brought to the attention of both the sheriff and the district attorney, but Mr. Jones's past history was deemed irrelevant. But Jana was able to get in touch with some people and got the full story of what had actually happened. Because basically their family had been lied to, because there was, and Jana, did I read it correctly that the Mr. Nugent, I'll just say his last name, he was a partner with Mr. Jones in the martial arts studio, correct? Is that how it was? And come to find out, there was some things that had happened with Mr. Nugent's, I believe his daughter. I would have to go back. I got to go all the way back down to find out. Okay, so his is confidential. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that. There was more stuff that Jana found out about Mr. Jones. We'll put it like that. That he was doing that he shouldn't have done.
With the stretching of these students who,
yes.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you guys, I did karate for, I can't even tell you how many years. Ashley, my daughter, did it. My son is still in it. We have never been stretched, ever. We do our own stretches. We've never had an instructor put their hands on our inner thighs or anything to stretch us.
No, because they're not allowed to.
I've just never heard of it.
It's
Hell yeah, I'd pull my kid out of there. That's just weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very.
okay. So I do know that there are other things that are being looked into as far as Mr. Jones. It's some other stuff that we're not going to get into right now because we don't know where it's going to go with that. So we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, the dude, I honestly think, and I believe if I read this correctly, the family also thinks that because Crystal had caught on to what was going on, that is why she is now deceased. And there's a whole timeline that Jana then was able to get of his whereabouts the day that this happened. And there is a time that he passes going right by their house. And I know where Bastrop is. I know where Oak Grove is. Lake Providence is, which is where she was supposed to go to the doctor that day. I know where all of that is. I just have not mapped out where everything, the Sonic, the karate studio, I haven't mapped all of that out in the timeline because I got so caught up in everything else that I was reading today. But they are saying that he literally passed right by their house that day. She had a package that was delivered at, I believe it was at 116.
And he was on the porch for the package. The man handed the package to him and he activated the phone standing there on the porch.
Well, the package was handed to him by one of the officers because the lady who dropped the package off knew them very well. She would often stop by, speak to Crystal, use the restroom real quick on her way to delivering packages. But that day, no one answered the door.
Oh, so, okay. So it was later that he was given the package. Later.
Yeah, so
okay.
Yeah, it was given to him after she was found that afternoon.
Okay. I misunderstood that part.
Yeah, and I've got, because y'all, I wrote down the whole time. Y'all know how I am with timelines. Let's see what it should be mapped out on the timeline. The amount of time. Okay, and Jana, it probably is. I know that some of the links in that document that you sent to me, I could not access. I know a lot of them. The reason why it's something that nobody should be looking at. But there was a lot of them that I couldn't look at, so I was mainly just reading through it. But I do have the timeline here. And it says at 1:16, the FedEx package was delivered to the residence of Tony and Crystal's home, and no one answered the door. And I believe the lady who delivered the package has said that her Tahoe and his work truck was in the driveway. So, Jana, did he always drive the work truck? Or was that just like a separate vehicle? But he's claiming that he went and did jobs for people that day. So it seems like he would have been in the work truck. So if his truck was there, and that's the one that he usually drives, but it was there at 1:16 when the package was delivered, then that means that he was at the house, and he basically, that's the proof right there that he lied about his whereabouts. Okay, so he had another vehicle. Okay.
And then I had also seen in there where she had found after Crystal's passing that they were actually in a lot of debt, but after her passing, like, I guess suddenly things were being paid off.
Yeah, that's kind of suspicious.
But no insurance policy. It doesn't, I wondered about that too.
Okay, so apparently from what I read off the Facebook group, and I never understood this. He had called the lady at State Farm and requested that Crystal go back to work there at that office. One, why is a man calling for his wife for her to go to work somewhere?
Yeah, that's weird.
And unless he knows the lady personally and was like, putting in a good word for her. That was one thing. That to me showed a controlling side of him. Hey, I want you to go to work here. This is where you're going to go to work. I'm fixing to call the lady and request that you go to work here. But then after she passed away, he gets in touch with the lady at State Farm where Crystal worked and wanted to know about a life insurance policy that Crystal didn't have. And he just basically kept on with the lady about it.
See, and there could have been, there's a database. We had to use it when my mom passed away. So there can be life insurance policies that you're not even aware of. There is a database where you can go and put in the person's information, and it'll pull up any policies that they had anywhere.
Well, just remember, we're talking about Louisiana. I mean, honestly. And I'll just leave it at that.
This
Yeah.
just the way it came out. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Can Jana comment if Crystal was right-handed or left-handed?
Yeah, I'll let you know when she... Okay, so she did say this. I looked in the database. She had life insurance on her husband and youngest son.
Oh, okay.
All right. And then I just have to wait for her answers to pop up on StreamYard so I can pull them up for you. Okay, and she was right-handed.
Okay. So the trajectory did change from left to right to left. Because they were first saying she used her non-dominant hand. Is that correct?
Okay, if you can find where you found that, because I must have missed that part somewhere. Was that in the Facebook group, or was it was in the document she sent?
In the 90 pages. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll have to go back.
I remember seeing something about them saying that she used her non-dominant hand. And
Okay.
and then the next thing I seen was that it was saying from right to left.
Okay. Well, I will say this. I'm left-handed. I write, I eat left-handed. Everything else I do, whether it's playing softball, it's shooting a firearm, a bow, anything, it's done with my right hand. I don't know why, but that's just how I do things.
Yeah.
Okay, so she said when we looked, we thought the shot was left to right, but they claimed right to left.
And see, the autopsy isn't specific enough. It doesn't say where the beveling is.
I
So
think that
because when it's a contact, when the weapon actually makes contact with the skin, there's beveling on the entrance side. But without that detailed in the autopsy, that's the worst autopsy report I've ever seen in my life.
So let me go back and look at something because I know that one part of the autopsy that said close contact. I gotta find where it was at though. On here.
Well, what
Yes,
hand
right
was the
here.
gun found in?
Right.
The right hand?
Mhm.
I thought it was the left hand.
Okay, so down here at the bottom it says probable cause of death, cardiopulmonary arrest due to close contact wound to the right side of the head.
Mhm. That's just not enough for an autopsy report. That's not specific enough.
Okay, so she says, okay, so the pillow was over her head to stop the stippling. Okay, so Jana, I have a question about that. I'm not going to ask it on here.
That's weird.
Well, no, I'm gonna go ahead and because I'm trying to be as respectful as I can to the family and to the friends, but in all honesty, how many cases has anybody saw where someone takes their life in this way, um, and they use a pillow over their head?
Yeah, that's very strange.
None.
I have never seen it. I'm not going to say that it hasn't happened that way. Um, but for some reason that has bothered me too, because we've watched movies and y'all, and I'm not trying to say this is a movie because it's not, but we've seen movies and we've heard of cases where when somebody takes the life of someone else like this, that they use a pillow. But I've never heard of one of someone taking their own life and using a pillow.
Right.
And Jana, I'm like I said, I'm trying to watch what I say because I know this is hard for you and the family.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so, but I'm trying not to be too graphic for YouTube as well. But that was something that bothered me. Also, was who is going to use a pillow to do this to their own self?
Yeah.
Okay, so Metamon said Letitia used a pillow. Yes, but that was Letitia taking someone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard of cases of it like that, where someone else uses a pillow and then takes a person's life. I've never heard of it, someone doing it to them own selves.
And I have to wonder about that broken fingernail because it almost like suggests if we're thinking that this isn't a self unaliving, it almost looks as if somebody
There was a struggle.
was like very hurriedly trying to put that into her hand and broke her fingernail.
I think there was a struggle. I think that's the reason why whenever she went in to do the makeup and stuff on Crystal for her viewing, that they noticed the bruises. And they brought it to the attention of the guy at the funeral home. He told them to take pictures.
Yeah.
So where did the bruises come from?
I think there was a struggle.
I do too.
Yep.
I'm not going to say 100% because we don't have 1000% proof
Right.
that the husband did this, but I just don't believe that Crystal did this to herself. I'm sorry, I don't.
And they didn't do any nail scrapings, They didn't do anything.
No, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe Jana said somewhere about the underneath of her fingernails being dirty, and they were freshly manicured, her fingers.
Oh, I've seen the picture. They're perfect.
Yeah, but
They're
they were,
perfect.
they were dirty, and that was the DA, I believe, is who it said. Well, it only takes 20 seconds to walk outside and pick up a pot and get your fingernails dirty.
Yeah,
It
but the
was
fact that they didn't even scrape them,
they,
that they
they
didn't
didn't
check
do
for
anything right.
GSR. They didn't. It's like they just walked in, they seen that prescription bottle, automatically just made their decision of what it was, and didn't do anything, to validate that that's what it was.
You know
That's
what?
another thing that bothers me, because I seen where it said that she had such a little amount of that prescription in her body that it was actually exiting her body.
Yeah, because
But
she took it the night before.
yeah, but if somebody is going to do what they claim that she did, you would think she would have had a lot in her system to numb herself and, build up the courage to do that. It's very strange.
Okay, so King Scarlet just put a thought in my head. She said suffocation with a pillow requires pressure. A pillow that does not have pressure exerted on it will have air that will be able to pass through it, allowing the person to breathe. Could this maybe have started out as a suffocation with a pillow, and there was a struggle?
I think they used the pillow as a silencer.
But there was nobody else in the house.
Well, neighbors. Is there close neighbors that could have heard?
I did look up her house on Google Maps, and she basically lives out in the rural area over there. But there is a house right next door.
So that's what I would think the pillow.
I just don't see. I'm sorry. I just don't see a person doing this to themselves, using a pillow to try to muffle a sound. There would be no reason for them to muffle a sound of that. Okay, so Jana, when I looked it up on Google Maps, it's like the only thing separating the yards, like the houses are so close, Crystal and the neighbors, is there's a wooden fence, a privacy fence between the two. And they're like right there on top of each other, basically. And the fact that she's saying that they were never interviewed is crazy. I mean, literally, if there would have been a gunshot in that house, the neighbors were close enough they would have heard it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how close the neighbors. It literally looks like they shared the same backyard. Like the neighbor's front yard is Crystal's backyard.
Yeah, that's what I would
Probably
think.
why a pillow was used.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I just don't see someone doing this to themselves and using a pillow. There would be no need for them to use a pillow to do it to themselves.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she did it to herself.
No,
I'm saying a pillow was used so nobody heard a gunshot.
And I think that, wait, okay, so Vapor said, does Tony still live there? Jana says yes, with his new fiance.
Wow. You gotta be kidding me.
Wow. That is crazy.
Do they have kids?
She had 2 boys by a previous relationship, and then he had a daughter.
Oh. But they didn't have none together.
Okay, no, Janice is none together. So she had 2 boys. Now, did Tony only have the one daughter that lived with them, Jana? Because that was the only child that I remember reading about, was the one that lived there with them. And she was in high school.
I read some strange stuff about that daughter who was not allowed contact, or not to have contact with her mother and an aunt right after Crystal's passing. All of a sudden, they're friends on Facebook. They're talking, commenting on it.
Yes, and he's friends with them.
Yeah, I thought that was strange too.
Wow.
This does.
Oh, and get this too, y'all. So all these police come in when Crystal is found in her room. She's found in her room in her bed. The coroner comes in. They have cleanup people that come in to the room. It said that Crystal was wrapped up in a bed sheet and then put into a body bag and brought out of the house. You have all of these people in the house. You have people taking pictures of the bedroom where this happened at. They could not find the shell casing that ejected from the firearm. They thought maybe it was stuck in her hair, maybe it was in her clothing, something like that. A week later, okay, let me pull the picture up because Gina did post this on Facebook. A week later, the husband finds the shell casing.
Yeah. How surprising is that?
Right there, circled in blue, out in the open on a nightstand that was just a couple of feet from where this happened to Crystal.
Yeah. How convenient.
But
Even
what does it say about, look at the previous photo, it's not even close to being in the same spot?
okay, hold on. I know what she's talking about because I got this one also. Hold on.
How convenient. Because he said it there. I'm sorry. I don't want to bring up bad memories but
Oh,
there. Okay, so it says here.
Not anywhere near.
Mm-mm. So it says circled in yellow is the WCSO's explanation of the missing shell casing found a week later by her husband being plain as day in the crime scene photo. In a recorded conversation, in blue, you can see that the yellow is just circling the gold writing on the makeup brush that matches the blue circle. Okay, so this right here is the makeup brush.
right.
She's got the writing right here. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's like white or light colored writing.
Yeah, I can see it.
They're saying right here, which is the reflection off of this same type of makeup brush, the writing off of it is the shell.
No. No. I don't know who's saying that, but they're full of it. They better go get their eyes checked. Better go have the cataracts removed.
Can you go back to the last picture, Scarlett?
Okay, I want to point one thing out real quick. Do y'all see how this brush is straight up and down?
Yeah.
And it's okay. This red thing here is one of those hair curlers, like the fancy hair curlers. Where you stick your hair down.
I got
okay. Okay. You see in this photo, it's on the right side of this curler, right?
Right.
And then up here is the mirror, the top part of this table.
You can see the mirror. Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you something. There's no shell casing there, right? But look at this picture that I'm fixing to pull back up. This is the reason why I did the screenshot of both of these. Here is the red thing right here, the hair curler that the brush was on the other side of in the other photo. Now the brush is on this side, and the shell casing is up here by the mirror. And here is
and the straightener is laying on the brush.
On the hairbrush.
Yeah.
That white thing there that is laying by is the blow dryer.
Yes, that's the hair dryer.
Yeah.
So you tell me that shell casing was not planted.
It was.
Hey Sarah, how are you?
Oh wow.
That's the reason why I screenshotted both of them, because I was going to try to do like a side-by-side comparison to see where every little thing on the table was. And I got to look and I was like, yeah, somebody has moved items on this table from one picture of them saying that law enforcement is saying that this is a shell casing, which right here is one of the makeup brushes that they were trying to claim that it was by. Everything has been moved around on this table, and now all of a sudden there's a shell casing.
And this happened in her bed, right?
Yes, she was laying in her bed. From what I read, she was in her bed, had the covers up to her waist, basically laying in bed a normal way, under the covers. She had a robe on, and she was just laying there like she was going to go to bed.
And where? How far is this table from her bed?
Okay, Jana just dropped in chat. The table was 7 feet from the bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but a shell casing will not fly 7 feet.
I mean, they fly, but they don't. I mean, that is perfectly just
that is
sit
plain.
there. And okay, and Jana, who took the picture of the shell casing? Of the actual shell casing on the table?
Probably
Because
me.
I know that the husband called Jana and Crystal's brother, letting him know that he found it. But did he call law enforcement and they come out and take the picture, or did he take the picture and say, "Hey, this is where I found it at"?
More than likely, he took the picture and said, "Hey, this is where I found it at."
Okay, she says they claim the sheriff department came and took it. Okay, I'm sorry. It's clearly stuff has been moved around on the table.
It's planted. You can tell it's planted because things are moved. If it wasn't planted, nothing would be moved around on that table.
No, everything is completely different from the day that. Okay, and she's saying that this is listed as a screenshot in the case file.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll pull the other picture back up just so y'all can see that it's. Oh, it just keeps bouncing to my other monitor.
I'm about to come with Louisiana, kick his ass.
It's the brush is on this side. I don't even see the straightening iron in this picture.
Yeah, I was noticing
you don't,
that
and
too.
you don't even see the blow dryer.
No.
Very
you don't
strange.
you don't see that little bottle of lotion or
I think that is it was it syrup
or a face cleansing. I think that's what it was a face cleansing.
It's CeraVe. I think that's lotion, right?
Yeah, it's something. You don't even see that.
Okay, wait.
You don't even you see the makeup, okay, and you don't see the makeup in the other picture.
No, but you can in the other picture that has the actual casing. You can see the makeup in the reflection of the mirror, but you can't see it. We want this one.
I wonder if Jana knows how old the new fiance is.
I don't know.
What's laying there by that bottle? That lotion.
Okay, so this is one of the makeup. Yeah, that's one of the makeup brushes they were trying to claim that the shell was beside of.
And then right here, where the shell casing is, that's a clip, right? A hair clip.
A hair clip. Yeah. But you can see up here in the mirror, you can see the makeup reflecting, so it would be back this way because there's like the edge of the hair dryer, so it would be kind of like off over here to the side. So in there, this little green thing right here, you can also see that in the other picture that has makeup sitting on it. So everything on the table had been moved from the other picture to this picture. Okay, Jana is saying that the hair dryer was in the chair. Now all of a sudden the hair dryer is on the table next to
the shell
casing.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, they can lie all they want about the sheriff coming out and doing all that, but no.
But like we said though, we're not in law enforcement. Okay, we're just everyday normal people who love to go over true crime cases, and we literally we can pick a picture apart. If we can see this, then how come the professional people who do this for a living
can't see it?
Are not doing their job correctly? You know what I'm saying?
Because they're all buddy with him.
Yes, they're covering for him.
Yep.
And instead of him going, he talked to Crystal around 10:30, 11 o'clock that morning. Call allegedly lasted, was it 20 minutes? She had a doctor's appointment that afternoon. Where she was going to the doctor was in Lake Providence, which was to the east of where they lived at. Basically the Mississippi-Louisiana line. He claims that he couldn't get in touch with her, kept trying to call, so he calls the doctor's office. The doctor's office says, no, she didn't come yet. I told Jana this morning, I believe it was when I talked to her about this. I don't think a doctor's office is going to tell you,
No,
no, somebody didn't make it into their doctor's appointment. It's
they
just,
not.
it's it's a thing of uh, not.
It's a
It's a security issue.
it's a HIPAA law. They can't.
It's well, not really so much a HIPAA law as far as that, but it's just a security issue because it could be a person who has an RO against this person
True.
and there's stalking issues. And if they say, yes, she's here,
Right.
then he can roll up on her, stalk her, and he's not even supposed to be around her. So it basically becomes a security issue at that point. I don't think they're going to tell him that, no, she didn't show up for her doctor's appointment. So all of a sudden he gets worried and calls one of his friends that works for the sheriff's department. Hey, can you go by my house and check on my wife? Because
Right.
I have a martial arts studio full of kids here. I'm
That
pretty
was
sure.
all planned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you were that worried about your wife, who you claim you were told by a doctor's office she didn't make it to the doctor's office, if you were that worried about her, you would tell the parents, hey, look, I have a family emergency. I've got to get back to my house and check on my wife because I can't get in touch with her. I'm pretty sure the families, the parents would understand.
Oh yeah, it was all planned.
And just like
He
him picking
had
up,
that planned out for somebody else to find her.
and Jana is saying that there were no kids in the martial arts studio, just like his daughter. And she said that they did confirm that there were no kids at the studio. It's just more and more and more adding up that points that this was a planned out thing for someone else to find her. I believe that is the reason why he checked his daughter out of school that day. If she normally rode the bus home, it would make sense that he checks her out so she doesn't go home and find the body.
Right.
Now, was Crystal planning to leave him? Is that what I was getting when I was going over everything?
Okay. I'm gonna let Jana answer this one just because I want to, because I did read something about that, that based off of what Crystal had found with the underage girls and stuff like that. But I don't want to say for sure she was or anything, so I will let. And Jana says, not that we can prove. Left-handed, how are you?
And Jana doesn't live. She doesn't live too far.
She said not to improve.
Okay, and she doesn't. I think I've seen Jana lives like 15 minutes away, and I just wondered, like, does she feel safe and okay?
Okay, so she lives 30 minutes away from where Crystal lived.
Does she feel safe? I can't, you guys know I can't see the chat.
Okay. So Jana, basically, Avery, she can't see the chat whenever you respond, so I have to relay the messages to her. But she is wanting to know, based on the fact that even though 30 minutes is 30 minutes, it's still close. Do you feel safe being there with everything that you and your brother has looked into and found? Okay, so she says, I have to watch my back for sure.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
I kind of wondered that.
Because, I mean, this guy gave Jana Crystal's laptop. And
not knowing it was signed into his account, right?
And he did not delete anything off of this laptop before he gave it to her. And that is where she found a lot of her information. That's how she found where he had been that day. That's his locations from that day. It's from that laptop.
I think he wanted her to find that.
You think?
So he could do something.
Because, I mean, wait, you're saying he wanted Jana to find it?
Whoever.
Because he willingly gave the laptop to Jana when she asked for it.
And the password.
Yeah, the passwords and everything.
I think.
Yes, it was after she passed away, but this was before. So it was after Crystal passed away, but before Jana and the brother had found all of his locations for that day and everything else. See, they didn't know any of that until they got the laptop, because all of that was on the laptop because Crystal had been signed into his Google account.
Yeah, I think he didn't know it was signed in.
He didn't know anything about it, and that Jana was going to find that information. And Jana does say that a Billboard, which I think is awesome. She told me about this morning also. A billboard goes up January the 22nd in front of the sheriff's department and has her name and her picture on it. And I'm glad that it does, because every time one of those officers or that sheriff pulls into that sheriff's department, or he leaves to go home to his family, he has to look at her name and her picture.
Right.
Because they're not allowed to take it down.
No, and she has provided where it's been paid for in full. She has provided the receipts for it and everything. So I'm glad that it's going up there.
Yep, they're not allowed to touch it. Boy, I wish I lived in the house.
Yeah, when it goes up, I may have to just make a trip over there, since I'm only like 2 hours down the road, and get a picture.
Because I'd really like to smash his face in.
Okay, so RG, how are you? RG says, I can see the billboard from my house. Man, I can't wait. Well, Jana, I want to see pictures, because I may not make it over there to get a picture of it, but we need to see pictures. Because if there's no other perfect spot, that is the perfect spot.
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect spot.
They need to see her face every time they walk out or go into work or walk out of work. They need to see her face. They need to see that they are covering something up for this guy, because he worked with all of them and worked for them, and they are covering this up for him.
Yep. And if he rides by and sees it, good.
Good.
I
have absolutely no sympathy for him. I hope that he sees it every single time he goes into town, and I hope that Crystal haunts him in his sleep at night. I hope that him and his new fiance wake up in bed one night and there sits Crystal at the end of the bed.
Yep. Because justice is going to be served, buddy.
Yes.
One way or another.
Because the truth will always come out. It always will be. So I can't wait to see it, and I'm 3.5 hours away. I'm going to make a special trip. Sarah, I'm only like 2 hours away from her. And
prevails.
I may just have to make a trip over there just to get me a picture of it, because I'm glad that there's billboards up. I'm glad that Crystal has family members that are willing to go above and beyond to find out the truth of what happened to her, because we've seen in some of these cases where the victims didn't have family that's doing what they are doing.
I have another question for Jana.
Okay.
Have they looked into, it's called the Crawford, CRAWFORD, Crawford Confrontation Clause. And that's where if you disagree with an autopsy and you have like statements from different people that weren't put into the autopsy, like as part of the investigative portion of the autopsy, you can actually take it before a court and have that heard.
Okay. So she says she's never heard of that.
I'll type it in the chat.
Okay.
Do you have
a link? Do you have a link for it?
I can find one.
Okay, if you can find it without throwing yourself off the panel, send it to me in Discord, and then I will just shoot it over to her in a Facebook message.
Okay.
That way you won't get through off the panel or anything.
Okay.
Okay, what was I going to look for? Oh, the Facebook group, because I wanted to show the, give me just 1 second, because there is a picture of the billboard. Gotta find it on here real quick. She showed it to me this morning. Okay, can I just see the top? This is the one. Yes, here it is. I'll just do it like this. And this is going to be the billboard that is going up, the one that she has up here at the top of the Facebook group. So they did a phenomenal job on the design of it. I love it. Her name, her picture, Justice for Crystal McCrory Jones, like it's, and they're plastered on it as well. They need to see this. Justice, truth, and accountability.
Yeah, I like that.
They need to see that. And I'm going to post the link to this. Hold on, oh Lord, y'all. I even had to put my glasses on tonight. I've read so much today.
I hope I did it right, but I did sign the petition. I hope it was done.
Okay. Yes, I also need to get the petition and put that back in here as well. I think it's over in my Discord, though.
I hope I did it right.
Okay. The confrontation clause. Okay, thank you, Avery. All right. So let me get that. Okay, so Jana, I'm fixing to send you the link for the confrontation clause. I'm going to send it to you on Facebook.
I'm not sure if that exact one will help her, but there's some other confrontation clauses, and once she pulls that one up, it'll lead her to others, because that one might be just for criminal only.
Okay.
But I'm just not sure. But there's other confrontation clauses as well, that, basically are pretty close to the same thing. And if they end up filing like a civil suit for wrongful death, then they'll definitely be able to use some of these confrontation clauses.
Okay, and I'm going to also drop that same link in the page I have on Discord for Crystal stuff. That way we can just keep up with it. All right, and what was that?
I think that what she's doing and continuously like putting heat on, then maybe there's a possibility that somebody will crack, or the husband will crack, or some, it's going to be a fight for sure for her. It's definitely going to be a fight, but she seems very determined, and I think she's going about it the right way.
Hopefully seeing this billboard will help make somebody talk.
Yeah. Sarah says somebody's going to fold eventually.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully it makes somebody talk.
Okay, so I posted the link for the Justice for Crystal McCrory Jones Facebook group. Then MetaMom has posted the change.org petition for y'all to go sign. And was there something else I sent the link that
there's Sorry.
What? No, go ahead.
There's a YouTube channel for her and a TikTok channel for her also.
Okay, do you have the links to those?
The TikTok one.
MetaMom does.
Okay, MetaMom, can you post those links in chat for me?
Yeah, I follow the TikTok one.
Okay. Because I'm sure MetaMom is posted in Discord. I would think.
I'll have to. If you post it in Discord for the Facebook group, I'll join that one too.
Okay, and what we need to do is we need to share some of this to Twitter and tag the heck out of
Brian Eaton, Nancy Grace.
I would tag Joseph Scott Morgan, because he is one of the most renowned medical examiners right here in Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also posting the Facebook group in the link to the Facebook group in the Discord channel that I have for Crystal stuff. So that way, if y'all want to go there later on and join the group. And there's a lot of good information that Jana has put on there. Mm-hmm. I literally, when I was going through the 90-page document today, I jumped over to the Facebook group. I got lost in the Facebook group, y'all. There's so much information in there.
I was thinking today, what would I do, like, if I was in her shoes? And I think the PI and the attorney is the best start.
Yeah. Vapor, it is, as long as she is part of the conversation. You can do that, and you don't have to You don't have to let the person know. You don't have to ask for their permission as long as you are part of the recorded conversation. Don't ask me how I know that, but that's how it works here. So
I don't know. I think I would have to go over and waterboard and torture that man to find out.
I mean, if they just gave us 5 minutes with him.
That's why I said I'm glad.
5 minutes.
It's a good thing I don't live in Louisiana because I'd probably be locked up right now.
Yeah, but I'm not far from Louisiana, and I'm a little cray-cray. And Scarlett's in Louisiana.
So,
But I'm not that crazy.
no, but
I am.
Okay, so I'm sure everyone knows how this would be going if it was my daughter. Yours, Vapor, if it was mine, that's why I'm so glad that they're doing what they're doing for her. Because we don't see it enough in cases that we cover.
No, exactly.
We really don't. You look at all these last few cases that we've been talking about, and most of them are involving kids that the parents did something to, which is crazy to me. But it's good to see that there's family members fighting for their family member who is no longer here.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'd also be filing a complaint against the medical examiner.
Yeah.
I'd be filing complaints to the Judicial Inquiry Committee for the sheriff and the other individuals.
Well, I did not listen to the recording of her and of Jana and the sheriff speaking, but I did read the transcription part that she put in that 90-page document.
I did too.
The way he keeps saying, I'm, I don't mean to use this tone of voice with you. Okay, this is a victim's family. You should not have any tone of voice with a victim's family who is trying to get answers for what happened to their family member.
Exactly.
Right.
You should not even have to acknowledge the fact that you have a certain type of tone with them. And the fact that he just keeps saying it over and over and over, and the way he stuttered a lot. And y'all, when this this transcription was done, it was not a clean version. It is verbatim. It has all the stutters and everything in there. And this dude stuttered a lot from what I read.
Yeah, I don't like sheriffs anyhow because they're elected. They usually don't even have the training that they're supposed to have. We have right here in one of our counties, we have a guy who just got elected to be the sheriff, and the only experience he has in law enforcement was he was a jailer for 2 years. A lot of them don't even have, a good resume. Like they're not they're not, what's the word? They're not professionals in their field. They're just elected in. I don't like sheriff at all.
Okay, so DG says Sheriff Scott Matthews was very rude when he was speaking to Jana. I listened to the recording. When I read it, I couldn't listen to it because y'all know, y'all have heard me on here millions and millions of times. I have a very huge issue with men talking to women like that.
Yeah.
Very huge issue with it. It's just it's a controlling tactic that men have over women. And the fact that he is a sheriff of the parish doesn't give him a right to talk to anybody like that. But the fact that he even acknowledged that he was doing it shows me how cocky he is. And so I do need to listen to it. I already know that I'm going to get very, very upset with it.
Yeah, you are.
I read it word for word, verbatim, in that 90-page document that Jana sent to me. And I was getting upset just the tone that he was using in it. I would have, she is a very patient woman, because I would have probably called a charge.
She was playing her cards right with it though, because she was apologetic and
she was. She's on a mission. The mission is to find justice for her sister, and she is handling it way better than I could.
You know what they say, you catch more bees with honey than vinegar.
It was I mean, getting upset because she got the death certificate. Okay, that's Crystal's
ridiculous.
sister, right? Well, the fact is that, you know, I don't know if every state is like this, but I know in Louisiana you can order a certain amount whenever you're doing the funeral arrangements and stuff like that. When my father-in-law passed away, we had to end up getting, like, I think it was 8 total, I believe is what it was, from the funeral home that they order, and that amount goes into the balance of the funeral and everything.
Yeah, they got 5, but the husband took all 5 of them.
He should have given one of those to her family.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sally. So, Sally said we were talking so loud we woke her up. Sally Mae, we are like furious over here right now at the fact of what this family is having to go through just to get the correct information on Crystal's case, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm from Louisiana. I'm 44 years old. Lived here my entire life except for 2 years. 2 months I lived in Illinois. I am embarrassed that law enforcement officials are acting like this towards a victim's family. And I don't even live in the same parish that they do.
Yeah, but still, you know.
Now, when you guys say parish, that's like a county, right?
Yes, it's the same thing as a county, but here we're the only state that they call them parishes instead of counties.
Yeah.
Because you guys want to be bougie.
We have to be different.
Well, Louisiana has to be different. Yeah, they have to be.
You know, we're a special breed of people here, and so we have to be different.
So they don't even know if her fingerprints are even on the casing because they did. It's just so mind blowing.
That is what's weird. How do you?
Yeah, how do you put a bullet in the gun and you don't even test to see if there's any fingerprints?
How do you have a case like this? Okay, and I'm just gonna straight up say it. She could have done this to herself. I don't think she did. It doesn't look like she did.
Right.
But there is a very slim chance that she could have. But you still, even if you think that this person did this to themselves, you still swab their hand.
Yes.
Yeah. You do
test the gun.
A complete investigation.
Yes.
How hard is that to do?
It's not.
In Vapor, I believe the casing, Jana, is that correct? The casing was sent to Shreveport where the gun was at? Is that what I read in that document?
The only way they don't do that type of thing is when they're covering for somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they waited, I think it said like 3 months to send the weapon and stuff to ballistics.
The officer or the sheriff told this was not, right after this happened, that there was stuff happening with the firearm right then. So they thought that all of these reports and stuff were everything was taking place right then, and that there would be reports coming back pretty soon.
He lied.
So she calls over to Shreveport to the lab where the firearm is, and then that's whenever they got on it and started doing all of the testing, and then sent the report.
Lord help me.
I don't know. It's just.
And once if this case gets reopened and it's a new investigation, I'd fire every one of them and hold them accountable. And that means time behind bars.
Yeah, I think I would file a wrongful death civil suit, because usually once you file that, that's when all kinds of information starts coming out.
Yeah, because they want to cover their butts. They want it all covered. They don't want nothing getting out. This one did it. No, this one did it.
Hey, you two keep talking. You two keep talking. I got to mute for just 1 second. Go grab something.
They want to point the fingers at different people so they don't get involved.
And I wanted to ask Jana too, was there any previous reports of any kind of like DV or or any incident reports of law enforcement having to come out to the house or anything like that? Like, I don't know how long they were married, but I wanted to ask her that too. Betty Jo, if you can watch the chat for her answer.
The lawyers couldn't push a civil suit and
Really?
passed on statute of limitations.
Wait,
Okay,
what? It's past
okay, I'm
the
back.
statute of
The
limitations?
lawyer couldn't push for the civil suit, and time has passed on the statute of limitations.
Wow.
I didn't know there was a statute of limitations on a civil suit for wrongful death.
Okay, wait, I gotta get caught back up now. So no previous CV reports or anything. They only knew each other for 5 years.
And yeah, no previous. Yeah, they've only been each
So
other.
wait, there's a statute of limitations. Okay, I missed the whole conversation when
Oh,
I had to step away.
It
I
was
was
on a
saying, I was saying that she should file a civil lawsuit for wrongful death, but she said that it's past the statute of limitations.
I didn't know there was a statute of limitations on that.
Oh well. 1 year on wrongful death, no statute of limitations on murder. Well,
Oh, okay. So if he
it,
was to be found,
yeah, if he was to be found guilty of doing this to her. I think that there's more coming for him in other areas, and Jana knows what I'm talking about. That I think is going, like, karma's going to come back and bite him in his butt.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
it will.
there's with all this other stuff that has came up. So
Oh yeah, it'll come back to get him, and then she'll be able to file a wrongful death.
okay, so 1 year on wrongful death. Wait, 6 years on negligent homicide. Okay.
Yeah. Once it all comes to light.
Well, this other stuff that doesn't have to do with, well, I think that led into what happened to Crystal, but some stuff that happened
Right.
before.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be more of that is going to be dug into, and I think there's going to be more that's going to be brought up in.
Baper wants the address where he lives. I'm with
Oh,
you, Baper.
I mean, I have the address. I'm not going to put it out in chat, but
I'm with you, Baper.
I did look up the house where it happened at, just so I can see the area.
if Vapor gets the address, it's all done. So the petition is to get the investigation reopened.
Yes.
And is that through the same sheriff's department, or through they're wanting it like re-examined through another department?
Okay, let me pull the hold on. Okay.
Because I wouldn't trust. I don't know if I would trust the same department.
And see, because state police wasn't invited in, they can't just, I don't think, come in. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with the FBI. We've seen in other cases. They're not going to come in and just, they have to be invited.
Yeah, they have to be invited.
So hell, I'll send them an invitation.
I mean, I think we all would, but
is that what the petition? Well, I mean, see, I need to look at the petition again, because I don't know if it's that they're wanting the state to reopen it, or.
Okay, so Jana posted, we are hoping a federal agency will reopen it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it says in the petition, the family is currently working on getting Crystal's case reopened and are hoping to have an actual investigation done to give our family closure as to what happened to her on that day. We are hoping to achieve that with your help, and that you sign this petition and give our family a chance to get answers.
How many signatures does it have?
It has 1,917 verified signatures.
So we need to share that to X too, and
Yes.
tag everybody.
That Give me a second. Wait, MetaMom. Can you, just so I don't have to jump over to X, can you share the petition on X and then tag me, Avery, everybody, one of us, and then that way we can share it from there?
She said yes.
Okay. That way I don't have to jump over because I have like 15 different tabs I've pulled up right now. So y'all should see my desk. Thank you, MetaMom. I was trying to take notes and I had literally about 6 different pieces of paper sitting in front of me because I was doing a timeline on one page. If I had a question as I was reading through the document, I had that another piece of paper for that. Just constantly, like, I was all over the place today going through this. Jana, are you on X? So I tell you what, I'm gonna do this. I think this is my command. I think. If y'all are on X and y'all don't follow me, Nightbot just dropped my link. Go there, follow me. When MetaMom shares it, then I'm going to share it from there.
I'm already following you, so.
Okay.
That really stinks about that 1 year statute of limitations.
Right.
That really stinks.
Different states have different laws.
Like I said,
Yeah.
you got to keep remembering this is Louisiana. We have some of the craziest laws. We have very, excuse my language, fucked up laws here. You know, we have people that's in enforcement that will go to bat for a victim and do everything that they can to make sure that victim and their family gets justice. And then you have some, like in this case, that just they're covering for one of their own.
Yep.
And they don't care about the victim or the victim's families.
And I thought it was bad here in some of the small counties in Alabama. You'll be in a courtroom and then later on you'll see your judge and the opposing attorney out golfing together.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And see, West Carroll, I'm trying to think, what would be the county seat, Jana, in West Carroll Parish? Would that be Oak Grove?
What is a county seat?
It's like it's a town within the parish. So like Caddo, okay, so Oak Grove is the county seat for West Carroll. Like Caddo Parish would be, I think it's Shreveport. Bossier Parish, I believe, is Benton.
So, but what does the county seat mean?
It's just like the
like a capital, like the capital.
Yeah,
of
like
the county?
It's like the capital of the parish. Yes, where the courthouse is. Dear Jesus, y'all, I can't even speak. Thank you, DG. Where the courthouse is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Told you, Avery, we're different breed of people over here. We have all different kinds of names and crazy laws, and like I'll get into the crazy laws that I found out that Louisiana has later on.
And so she shows the proof to the sheriff of his phone passing by the house, right?
Okay, yes. Well, hold on. All right, let me get Google Maps pulled up here because...
Did it stop in the area of the house or...
Okay, so at one point they are saying that the phone stopped at an undetermined location, but the sheriff was trying to say that it was at a storage place that was right next to the karate studio. Hold on, let me grab it for you. Can you scroll it? 1 second.
So this tracking that she had is it like the Find My Phone tracking, or what kind of?
It's, oh wait, what am I doing? Hold on.
Probably 360.
No, it was his from his phone on his Google account.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Okay, no, wait, she's saying Life 360.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's I didn't know
that's
it was
what I-
Life 360, but it was. I knew it was from the Google account or whatever. That's how they got it. Okay, what was I? Oh, King Scarlet. Okay, King Scarlet. Here's the link for the Facebook group, right here.
Hmm.
Why is it not pasting? Okay, there we go. Okay, so
Who has
Google.
her boys?
Wait, say that again.
Who has Crystal's sons?
Okay, so one of the sons lives in New York. I'm not sure about the youngest though,
Oh, okay.
because I don't. I didn't even look for their ages. She said that they're grown. I just know that one because that's where some of the remains when they were supposed to be divided up into 4 parts.
Oh, so the only child in their home was his daughter.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so the oldest is in New York, the youngest is in South Carolina. Okay. And so when the husband sent the oldest son part of his mom's remains, he didn't allow the funeral home to do it, which the funeral home would have packaged it in the correct manner.
Yep.
There would have been documentation that would have been sent with those remains to say who they were, like all of the information of who those remains belong to. He didn't get none of that. When the husband sent the remains to him, the box that they were in was pretty bad shape. There was no documentation. I think that there's Jana in there a complaint of some sort that was open to the postal service about that. You're welcome, King Scarlet. Just because it wasn't even like he didn't even take the time if he was going to do it himself to package his wife's remains to send to her son. He didn't do it in the correct manner.
I think you're supposed to tell the post office if it's human remains. I think.
I don't
Aren't
know.
you supposed to tell them?
I would think that there is a protocol that it's at least with the documentation of who this who these remains belong to. And she said yes, it was illegally packaged. I mean, he didn't even have enough respect for Crystal to package her remains properly.
Yep, picture him.
Where did I see one at? I tried to look for him on Facebook and I couldn't find him. But it seems like I saw one somewhere. I'll have to go back and see if I can find it. We need to do an exclusive log on the crazy laws in everyone's states.
Oh, we got crazy laws.
Hey, we're not allowed to have an alligator on a fire hydrant in Louisiana, so Louisiana's got all of y'all beat with crazy laws.
We still have a law here in Alabama that women are not allowed to wear jeans while walking down the street.
Oh well.
I mean, it's you know, they don't recognize it anymore, but it's still a law.
Okay, so Vapormate has a good question. Can't you just have him charged federally with a mail issue just to be a pain in his ass? I think there is an investigation opened up with the whole way that he did the remains.
Are you watching?
Which is okay, so she's saying that even though he broke the rule, there's no punishment for it. Wow. Just a total lack of respect. It's what's crazy to me. There's a lot of red flags with this guy. A lot. And I actually have a cousin who she retired last year or year before that works. She's not in Caddo Parish. She's in another parish south of here. Uh, she didn't make postmaster, but she was like the one right under postmaster in the post office. I want to find out from her what needs to be done, like what specifically documentations need to be done in order to ship human remains to the mail.
That's a good idea. Go to the Attorney General.
Okay, she said, I went through the chain of commands to the U.S. Postal Service. Last name was King, was the last person I spoke to. And there's nothing that can be done because he did this. Not even for shipping it without the documentation of
Well,
saying...
can he be charged with desecration of human remains?
She said there was no punishment for him breaking that rule.
How frustrating.
Okay, so that, Jana, that might have been one of the documents that I couldn't open. Because some of them I could open and look at, and then there was some of them that said that I didn't have access to.
Yeah, there was some where it said you needed permission, so I
Yeah.
requested permission.
I didn't, because I didn't know if it was going to open permission to all of the stuff that was on there. There's like pictures and stuff on there that nobody else needs to see.
Well, I did because I had seen her post in the Facebook group where she said that she was willing to share, like photos and files and stuff, because any extra set of eyes that could possibly see something that they're missing, that she was basically willing to do this. So that's why I requested, just because I was going to have, a friend, a PI friend look at it just to see.
Yeah, a lot of the first parts of them that was in the first upper part of the document, I could look at all of those. And then when it got to a certain part, I couldn't see them anymore.
She said she'll give you access to all that. Autopsy photos are stored
separate. Okay. Well, yeah, if I can get access to everything else, the autopsy photos, yeah, we don't need to look at those.
Right. They're stored.
Yeah, okay. So as long as those are stored separate, because we're not, even if we got to see them, we would not share them out to anybody else. But if somebody else was to get a hold of this link, you know, people on social media can be crazy. Okay, let's see here. I gotta get caught back up in chat, y'all. I'm so behind. Okay. I'm trying to think of whatever. Y'all, my notes are so scattered tonight. Oh, what was we looking at on the timeline you were asking about a minute ago, Avery?
Him crossing the house. Did he stop? Like, is there a time period where he was like stationed at the house, or it was literally just like a pass by?
Okay, so wait, that's what I was pulling Google Maps up for, just so I can hold on. Because at 10:53, it says on here that he arrives at 305 East Main Street in Oak Grove, which he has marked as work in his Google account, which is the sheriff's department.
Why would he? And that was the other. I was wondering that too. Like, why would he be at the sheriff's department at, before?
Well, according to the sheriff, he didn't even know he even stopped by there.
Yeah, I seen that.
And another thing I did not like that was put in the transcription was how they would giggle when they were talking to Jana and the brother.
Yeah, the sheriff will laugh.
The sheriff and the DA. There was like a giggle and why are you
Mm-hmm.
even letting a smile come across your face when you're sitting here talking to a family of the family members of a victim who are trying to get answers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we couldn't determine if he stopped. The unaccounted time for was the haircut that the police report said that he got that Tony never mentioned in his interview.
Hmm.
Okay. And I remember reading about the haircut. Was it put in? It wasn't put in the timeline, though, I don't think.
What was the reason that he checked his daughter out of school early?
So you wouldn't find the body.
I think that's the reason why he did. But it was said that she was always a bus rider. But I think it was so the daughter wouldn't find Crystal in the house.
So he didn't give a specific reason?
Mm-mm. Okay, hold on, let me answer this guy.
Jana, are your parents alive?
I noticed she said something about her mama. Don't remember anything about her dad, though.
The reason I ask is because, especially moms, a lot of times their intuition about these things are strong.
Okay,
What?
They only share the same mom.
but she said that her mom can't handle any of this.
Oh, goodness.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't be able to either.
Yeah, it couldn't happen.
I'd have done one after him.
I mean, there was a scene in that document that Jana had sent to me where she had to get her brother to leave out when they would be talking to someone where the
Mhm.
pictures were involved. She would have to get her brother to leave out so he wouldn't have to see them.
Right.
Because,
Yeah,
some people handle stuff like that. Me, I would want to see everything if it was my family member. But that's just me. Some people can't. It's harder for them to deal with looking at the pictures and stuff like that.
yeah.
I think I would want to see everything too, just so
Right. Yeah, it's just that's just how I am. I would want to see everything. Okay, so yeah, I don't allow my family to see pics with her face in them. Yeah, I mean, they're dealing with enough. The fact that she's no longer here with y'all,
Mhm.
and then y'all were fighting your hearts out to
Mhm.
try to get answers. You know, I can't imagine what y'all's mama is going through.
When something like that happens in your family and you immediately have a feeling that something's not right, it's usually not right.
Yeah.
I just gut instincts are so strong.
Yeah, I know. It's a mother's intuition. It's, I don't know. I mean, I can tell just by reading the document how hard it is for Jana and the brother.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a parent. It's
Jenna's the baby by 14 years.
Goodness.
So wait, you're 14 years younger than Crystal?
Yeah, that's what she said.
And Crystal was 43. I can do it. I don't want to see everything. Example. King Scarlet. I would just. I know how I am. I would have to see everything. Okay, so 10 years younger than Crystal. Okay. 14 years younger than my brother. Okay. And I'm not mentioning, like, she's put the brother's name in the
Yeah, we don't
documents,
have
but
his
yeah,
name.
I'm not gonna. There's no need for me to mention his name now. If he was to come and chat, I would at that point. But yeah, there's no reason to put his name out there either. Like, this family's going through enough, and Jana is very brave to be out here doing this.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
the Facebook group, coming to the different channels, you know, trying to get the story out there.
Oh yeah.
I give her credit. She is a strong woman.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
strong.
because I can tell you, I couldn't, I would be just the way the sheriff talked to her. I would have,
I'd have done lost it.
I would have gotten in trouble. I would have got arrested because I wouldn't
Yeah.
have let him speak to me like that. But I get why she's doing it.
Yeah.
I get that because she's
wants
trying to
to-
get justice, and
justice.
that's more important, you know, than getting into it with law enforcement.
Yeah.
And Jana says she would have done the same for me. Crystal would have.
Oh, I'm sure she would have.
Yeah.
Your sisters, your family. You're gonna stick together. You're gonna protect each other. You're gonna
Right.
you're gonna stand up for what's right, and what is right is getting justice for her.
Exactly. I mean, I don't have any biological brothers or sisters. I only have stepbrothers and sisters, which I have nothing to do with. And it was hard trying to fight my stepmother and my dad's for his property that he had before him and her got married. I
Right.
can't imagine what they're doing.
And see, that's probably what I'll go through when my dad passes with the one he's married to.
It's very, and I had to do it alone because I'm the only child.
Right.
You know, and Jana has her and her brother, and they're doing this for their sister, and I can't imagine how hard that is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna stand up for one another. You're gonna fight till the end.
Okay, so she says, Jana says, my husband is an only child. It's hard for him to understand the pain that I feel sometimes, but he tries. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different for me because I'm an only child. I don't know what y'all are going through or what people who have siblings go through when something like this happens.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that. But it's very hard fighting something like that alone when you're an only child. But when it's your sibling, I can't imagine the pain that someone goes through when they're dealing with that. Because that connection that the siblings have, that someone like me with no siblings, I don't have that connection with somebody. You know, it's just me, myself, and I, and, you know. So I can't imagine what they're going through, finding this information out and digging deeper and just knowing that there's something wrong, and that's what's keeping them going to try to find justice for Crystal.
Right.
And I'm glad that we're seeing that in a case where we don't see it a whole lot.
Right.
Oh, she also has a twin brother, so we are really close. Wow.
Oh goodness.
Okay, so it had to be hard to deal with the fact that the husband had control over her body. And see, that's the thing in Louisiana. If a person is married, legally married, no legal separation or anything like that, whoever that person is married to has the rights to everything. The same thing, and I told Jana that this morning. When my dad had a stroke and he was in the hospital and my stepmom let him lay there for 2.5 weeks and refused to let him be fed, I had no control because he was legally married to her.
Even
and that's
if it has a will stating.
My dad didn't have a will. He had there was no power of attorney or anything like that. So if he would have had medical power of attorney, if I would have had medical power of attorney over him, there would have been nothing that the wife could do about it.
Right.
But he didn't have that.
Right.
That would have been the only way. But literally me sitting there begging his whole team of doctors. If I just walk in there and ask him, because he would follow commands, are you hungry? And he tells me yes, or he gives the thumbs up because that's how he answered them. Could y'all then to feed him? And the answer was no, because his wife has a legal say over him.
Right.
And it's the same thing with their situation.
Yeah.
It's when she passed away, he is the one that has all of the say as far as funeral and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always good to go to. And I think Jana did say that he did come to her and ask, do you want the service in Oak Grove? Was it Oak Grove or Bastrop or I remember Bastrop being answered or asked about, and they said Bastrop, which is
Yeah, I think he asked her the same day it happened or the
Yeah.
very next day.
it was the same day it happened when she was standing
Quick.
outside the house waiting for them to bring her sister out.
Yep, you're right. That's what I wrote. That's what I
Yeah.
read.
So why
Wow.
why would you even, because he had already been told that there had to be an autopsy done. Why are you even considering a funeral home at that time? That could have happened the day after. You could have let them know where to release her, what funeral home to release her body to. But that's just how it is in Louisiana. I'm pretty sure it's like that in other states, but in Louisiana, whoever, if the person is married, it goes to that person's spouse if they're living. If they're not married, it goes to next of kin. Whether if you have kids, it goes to the kids. If you don't have kids and you have siblings, or in your parents deceased, it goes to your siblings. If your parents are still alive, it goes to your parents. That's just how it is. And he was considered next of kin, so he had all the legal say in everything. It's a fucked up law, excuse my language, but it is here. When something like this happens, her family should have been considered in how things went, especially the fact that they did not want her to be cremated.
Right.
And she tried, I think she said, what was it, Jana, 48? Is that what you told me? Different attorneys did she talk to try to get the cremation stopped? I believe that's the number she told me.
What were Jenna's wishes? Not Jenna, Crystal's wishes? Yeah.
I didn't ask that. I just know that the 49 lawyers she talked to get the cremation stopped, and she wasn't able to. I don't know about Crystal's wishes, but the family did not want her cremated.
Yeah, I can understand why. I mean,
49 lawyers. You hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
49 attorneys she spoke to
Yeah.
to get it stopped and wasn't able to.
That is crazy.
Okay, and she said that Crystal never talked about that with us, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like to talk about that.
No. It's just when something like this happens, there's a lot of questions regarding it, especially with the spouse, or let's just say the Kylie Rodney case, how quick they had her cremated. This is the same thing with this case. There's a lot of questions regarding the husband, and he was so quick to have her.
Yeah, when they're rushing to have a cremation done, it
throws up a red flag for me. Yeah. Like, if the family doesn't want it, why not take the family's wishes into consideration? Unless it's written down somewhere that this is, or religious reasons or whatever, but specifically this person who has died wants to be cremated after her death. Okay, then that was her last wishes. But if that wasn't how it was, why not take the family's thoughts and feelings and opinions into consideration before you do something? I mean, she had 2 kids. Her mama's still alive. Why not take all of that into consideration? And that is true, Vapor. It keeps him out of prison. Once a person's cremated, there is no more autopsies. There's no more testing. Exactly. Chad Daybell.
Yeah.
He when he murdered his wife, he didn't have an autopsy done, but he did bury her. And when things started unfolding, they exhumed the body, did an autopsy on it, found out she had been poisoned. And so, it just, I don't know, the cremation thing, I know a lot of people do it, but in an instance like this, it just throws up a huge red flag for me.
Right.
I don't know. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to go more through the Facebook group, because like I said, Jana's always posting stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's constant. I saw today several different things, and I was trying to go through all of this one document she sent to me, so I didn't get to read everything in the Facebook group. But like Crystal's case needs to be put out there. It needs to be shared all over social media. Her name needs to be put out there. Her picture. Did I see in the chat a minute ago that somebody else had asked about the Billboard? I thought I saw that when I was talking, and I forgot to answer it. But yeah, it. Okay, thank you, Madam Mom. It needs to be put out there. Like she needs justice. Crystal needs it, and her family needs it.
And then that man had the audacity to say that she mishandled the GoFundMe fund. I couldn't believe that either.
Yeah, because he was wanting money from it.
Also, it's like, you've got to be kidding me.
And she was accused of it. Like GoFundMe got in touch with Jana,
Right.
and she had to provide receipts showing what this money, what it was going to be spent on, which was Crystal's funeral.
When I seen initially, she said, "I'll just pay for it." Like
Right.
that was her initial.
Right. She said, "Yeah, he filed a suit against me with GoFundMe." She won that one. It's just, and there was, I saw where she had said, that there was other people on Facebook that were accusing her of wrongdoing with the funds.
See, social media can be.
They can be very, very cruel. They can be degrading.
Oh,
There's people on YouTube who don't care about the victims' families.
Right.
They will put out any information. They don't fact check it. They don't do any of that. They just put out whatever pops in their mind so they can get clicks, views, and money.
Yep.
Okay, grand larceny is what they accused me of. It was the girl he brought. See, I would have, once again, Jana, I have to give you praise because
I punched her all in her face.
Yeah. I mean, the guy at the funeral home had to tell him it is not appropriate for you to bring a female that is not your family to your wife's viewing.
Right. And is that who he's engaged to now?
Lord have mercy, I'd have lost it.
If that don't scream that he was that's proof of the infidelity.
I'd have lost it, boy.
Is that who he's engaged to now?
No, because Vapor has the same thing. Is that the girl that he lives with now? She said no.
Oh, okay.
That shows the disrespect that the girl had for Crystal and her family.
Yep.
Okay, so she said he's engaged to a different girl now.
He gets around.
That is.
I'd have lost it. I'm sorry. I'd have lost it.
I would have too.
I'd have beat both of them.
You don't. Oh my God. I know how I am. I know how. I know my temper.
Yeah.
Okay, so Meta Mom has now shared it. She tagged. Let's see. She tagged Joseph Scott Morgan, Nancy Grace. Let's see, who else did she tag? Me, Avery, Legacy, Betty Jo. She put the link for the petition to be signed. Okay, so let me share this out real quick.
I can message Joseph and I can text Vinny Politan to see if he wants to cover it.
Okay, and just send them that the information and the petition at least.
Yeah. I feel like Nancy Grace would definitely cover it.
Yeah, possibility. She would, and she would get all into it too.
Oh yeah.
Because she's covered Ellen Greenberg many times.
He was big in his background like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she'd get him to. She'd ask him to take a lie detector test.
Yep. Yep, because the Nancy Grace don't play.
Yeah, I don't know if Benny would cover it, but you can ask him. But I feel like Nancy would.
Well, I can't believe that tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
God, this year. I mean, this year has went by fast, but in 2025, like there needs to be something that happens with this case.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Like there's got to be something. There's
Yeah.
got to be somebody or some place that we haven't thought of within the state that this could be brought to
Yeah,
that
because
could make
justice
something
needs
happen.
to be served.
Yes. I mean, we're going February will be 2 years.
I feel like there's got to be a way to get the state to investigate it without being
I
invited
can't believe
in
it or
by,
not, really.
by the sheriff's department.
I mean, I understand they got to be asked to be brought in, but I don't know.
Billboard happened February the 9th of 2023.
So February the 9th of 2025, it'll
Will be
be
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. And they haven't just started in looking for information as like Jana and the brother. They've started on this right after it happened. They've
Yeah.
been working on this and trying to get something to happen with this case for almost 2 years. You know, this isn't something that they just popped up and started doing. Like this has been going on from the jump. So I mean, you know,
And Gemma's being very smart about it, because I've seen other cases like this where the person who's fighting for justice will point fingers at the husband or make accusations and end up getting themselves sued.
Yeah.
But she's being very smart about this because she's not throwing out any accusations. She's just asking for a better investigation.
right.
And so I really like the way she's going about it.
Yeah, she's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The red tape is the
I gotta give
drug.
her credit.
Okay, so King Scarlet says you have to start with challenging the autopsy.
Yeah, and that's I wish I can remember exactly what clause it is. It's a confrontation clause. I know that, and it's a way of challenging the autopsy before a judge. It's a way of challenging it in court. I'll have to dig because I'm not sure the Crawford confrontation clause is the one, because it's been years since I've studied this, but I'm going to have to dig and find it. And when I find it, I'll send it.
Okay, well, I'm making myself a note to, so I don't forget.
You probably have to do it, like, see what laws in Louisiana, like, for what she can do.
Okay, Vapor said he knew all of this, and the biggest reason she was cremated. That's the main reason why she was. So there could not be a second autopsy. You know, he had people covering it up for him with the investigation and the one that was done and all that. Get it all done. Everybody stick to their same story, and boom, she's cremated and it's done and over with. He wasn't factoring in that she had a brother and a sister that wasn't going to give up, that wasn't going to stop fighting until the answers were there.
But see, he should have known that they were going to fight this. They were going to look into it. They were going to do what they could to prove whether or not she did this herself.
But the thing is, though, he, to me, and I don't know this man, I think I've seen one picture of him. He just seems like a very controlling person, very narcissistic. He didn't think that they were going to challenge anything that was done in this investigation. That they
Right.
wasn't going to dig into it. He was a dummy by giving Jana the laptop with
Yeah.
all of this information in it. He
Yeah,
screwed himself up on that one. I mean,
He
thank
probably
God
just
for dumb
thought-
criminals because, you know,
He probably thought in the back of his narcissistic mind, oh, they're not gonna do nothing. They're just gonna
right.
they're gonna let it all go.
Yeah. Well, she said he underestimated us big time. He did.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He was not factoring in that she was going to have family members that was going to go almost 2 years after the death
Yeah.
and still going with it.
Yep.
And once it hit social media, y'all know how it is on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah.
It blows up.
Yep.
I just
So-
had a serious panic moment. I pressed mute so I could blow my nose, and I was blowing it like a full-grown man, and then wasn't sure if I actually pressed mute and panicked and grabbed the phone. Thank God I was muted and you guys didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, we didn't hear you.
Okay, so I've got a note here to look up on challenging an autopsy in Louisiana.
Yeah. Man, I wished I could. I don't know why I went to college for all this and went all these years and then can't even remember half of it.
Hey, sweet Melissa. Sweet Melissa, there was I'm not even gonna call it an investigation.
No.
The most investigating in Crystal's case that has been done is her sister Jana and her brother.
Yeah.
That's the ones that have found everything. It seems like the sheriff's department and the DA and everybody else involved on that side of it is basically covering for the husband.
Yeah, it's like a botched investigation. It's very strange that they didn't. It's like they didn't follow any protocols.
Because they didn't care.
Exactly.
They put out an autopsy report with her name spelled incorrectly.
Yeah.
Like, who
And
Still,
does that?
I still question, with everything that was wrong in that report, I still question if they have her report mixed up with somebody else's.
that's
Well,
what I
that would be something that her attorney would have to look into.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Jana or the brother could find. I mean, she may know if somebody around that time had passed away in a manner that an autopsy had to be done, because there are things resulting in death that you have to have it. There has to be an autopsy done. Now she may know that because it's a small community there, basically. And I'm pretty sure they probably grew up around there. They know a lot of people there. So if somebody around that time had died, they probably know about it. But as far as anything else, that's something her attorney's going to have to get records for. It's not something that would be put out to.
Something else I found really odd too was Crystal was excited about having a grandbaby.
Yes.
She was excited about she re-upped her credentials and got her certificate for insurance and was,
I think it said texting or emailing out the certificate. She was so proud of that.
like, these are all things right before her passing. And so it just really doesn't make sense that she would be excited about all of these upcoming things. Like
to do this to herself.
Yeah.
It just, there's a lot of things that doesn't.
I mean, sometimes
seem
there
right.
are no warning signs, but at the same time, you usually don't see the exact opposite, of somebody making progress and being happy and looking forward to things.
The pillow. It's to some people it may not be. It may not be a big deal to some people. To me, I just don't see a person doing this to themselves using a pillow.
Yep.
King Scarlet,
strange.
she sounded like that because for some reason when I mute, it makes Avery sound different. I don't know why. And
Really?
and then whenever I unmute, you go back to sounding like you do now.
Well, what are you doing to me?
I'm not doing anything. I'm just muting myself. I don't know why it
Oh.
changes the way it makes you get louder for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that.
Oh. I'm kind of loud anyhow, I think.
Let's see. Do you know what graduating class he was in? I'll have to wait for see if Jana has that information. Does he know the
We'll
sheriff?
know.
Yes.
We'll know his underwear size and the brand of toilet paper he's using give us a week.
Yeah, we'll know everything about him. Okay, so Sweet Melissa, does he know the sheriff? Are they friends? Yes, they are. He worked for the sheriff's department there in the parish.
One thing about this channel, Jana, is we dig. We, like, after the live streams, we'll get on backstages. We dig.
Yes. And there's nothing that's put out here that isn't fact checked. I don't put out anything unless I know for a fact that it's
Right.
true.
And see another thing with the pillow, okay? When
Thank you,
somebody
left-handed. Go
commits
ahead, Betty.
suicide, they don't put a pillow over to
I just that's the whole pillow over her face is what's throwing me off.
because they don't care who hears it.
The guy that he called, I believe, worked at the high school, like a resource officer or whatever. If I'm thinking that's the same guy, he got him to go down there and then called the husband. The husband said, "Well, the door's unlocked. Just go on in."
Yeah, see. Mm-mm.
And I think that he had that guy to go down there. That's the reason why he checked his daughter out of school so she wouldn't find the body. He had another officer go down there because he knew what was happening. Was it the sheriff that said that, or was it the DA that said that he knew what was waiting on him at home, or something that may not be verbatim, but it was something like that the husband knew what was waiting for him at home? The DA. Okay. She was right. He knew exactly what was waiting on him at home. Thank you, left-handed.
And Vapor, I'll fill you in on some other stuff too later off the live that we know about this man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put it out here, but Vapor, if it is okay with Jana, I'll send you the 90-page document that she sent to me, and it'll have it has the audio, and then it has each audio has been transcribed. And like I said earlier, just by reading that, you can tell the tone of the sheriff's voice when he was speaking to her. Okay, thank you, Jana. So I'll send it. Let me do that now, because if I wait, I'll forget to send it to him. Let's see. God, people, I don't even. Avery, how did I send this to you earlier?
Discord.
Okay, but where did I get the link? I got the link from somewhere. I don't remember where I got it to send it to you on there.
Oh, I can send it to him.
Okay. I don't remember where I got the link from, because I was going to do it to you, and oh, wait, I got it. Here we go. Okay.
So how did the husband act at the funeral? I know she said how he acted outside of the house the day of, but I wonder about the funeral. And the stepdaughter. I want to know how she was acting too.
How old is the stepdaughter?
I think it's at 14.
14 or 15. She's in high school.
So at the time she was 14 or 15?
Yeah. Okay, she said that he acted like it was a family reunion. I mean, he brought another woman with him.
Mhm.
And She's 17 now, so she would have been 15, 16 at the time.
Wow.
It
A
happened.
family reunion.
Okay, Vapor, I just sent you the link, and it's
Did
like
he
it's
get up?
90 pages of stuff with links in each page.
Did he get up and speak at the funeral?
I just can't believe that he. You're welcome, Vapor. I can't believe he brought a female.
Yeah, it's
That just.
terrible.
I don't. I swear, some men are just pure asses, y'all. I'm just gonna put it
I'd
out
love
there.
to know what the Google searches were in his phone beforehand.
Well, we know that one of them was how soon is too soon to date after your spouse passes away. Wait, she said no, he didn't even want flowers or songs.
What?
Oh my god. He wanted her like an out of sight, out of mind type thing. That's I mean, Jana had to go and do the hair and makeup for her sister.
You know what they need to do with men like that?
I can tell you what they need to do, but they get kicked off of YouTube. Wouldn't be nice.
So is that because he wouldn't pay for those services? He didn't want to pay for those services at the funeral home, the hair and makeup.
Well, he wasn't involved in getting, because usually, like with our family, there's a certain person, like if somebody in our family passes away, there's a lady that we get that does it.
Whoa.
She basically does everybody's hair in our
Okay.
parish. She's always done that. She has her own barbershop and everything. But the funeral home, sometimes they will provide that, sometimes they not. But it's basically left up to the family to get that done. He didn't get none of that done, so Jana had to go in and do that. Can you imagine going in and doing the makeup and hair on your sister who,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no,
Like
I absolutely couldn't.
he didn't even care that Crystal's sister had to go do that. It's this dude has total disregard for Crystal's family's feelings, emotions, them trying to grieve. He didn't care.
Just shows you how disgusting he is.
Oh, it just,
Whose name was the house in? Was it in both of their names? And if it was just in her name, did it get paid off?
okay, and Jana put just a few minutes ago, he was mad that we spent money on flowers and pictures. Wow.
Amanda sounds disgusting. He sounds.
He didn't want to wait on the makeup artist.
Ugh.
Well.
Sounds like you didn't want to wait on a lot of things.
Yeah, he was rushing.
Okay, wait.
Because he wanted evidence destroyed, that's why.
That's what it seems like.
I mean, my mom passed away from a brain aneurysm. And they still did an autopsy.
Right. And see, I don't know if it's like that in your state, Betty Jo, but in Louisiana, there's certain types of deaths that require an autopsy.
Yeah.
I know one is like an unintended death.
Lived in Jersey, so
Yeah.
Jersey, that's what they require.
I know one of them, because I even had to go to the government website. That was one of the sites that I posted in Discord. My eyes are burning bad for some reason. And I gotta go to Crystal's page. Where is it? Right here.
But at least hers was done right, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a state of Louisiana government website that you can go to that has everything that a coroner is required to do as far as autopsies and what constitutes an autopsy being done when there's a death and stuff like that. So I did post that link in the Discord because I wanted to send it uh, to Gianna because I didn't know if she had seen it or not. Especially when the sheriff was trying to tell her that the coroner is not the one who establishes the time of death or cause of death.
Okay, who does?
And which I know that medical examiners can, but coroners. I mean, I Googled it. I looked on Brave and Google, and I went to. That's what led me to the state of Louisiana website for coroners. Uh, so that was another reason why it took me all day to get through this document that she sent, because I was, every time I would come across something that was in there, I'd start digging to try to find facts for it. Too bad he didn't take off to Hawaii with another woman. We all know what happens when that happens. Well, wait a minute. There was something that was mentioned about Hawaii. Hold on, because I do remember that too. That something was mentioned about a car rental in Hawaii, but I gotta find it.
A car rental where?
In Hawaii.
Wow. Damn, he's taking trips.
Let's see. I'd have to find it in this document though. But yeah, there was something mentioned in there about that too. There was a storage building in Tennessee. There was something else that stood out to me whenever I was. Okay, so the sheriff said that the email to Hawaii was a spam email.
And how would he know that?
Because it's just cover up. That's all it was.
Yeah, exactly.
You could tell that when he was talking to Jana, he was trying to think of what to say. Yeah. The sheriff was. He stuttered a lot. Unless that's just how he talks. It was like he would start to say something. He had what they call false starts. He would start to say something and he would stop and he would jump to something else. He was literally trying to find something to say.
Yep.
And it was just almost like he was very overwhelmed with Jana and the brother being there with all these questions.
They want the truth.
Exactly.
They don't want to be yanked around like yo-yos. They want the truth.
And it made him uncomfortable that they were there, which he very well should have been. He should.
There was one part in there where somebody asked him if he was mad, and he said something like, "Hell yeah, I'm mad," and I can't remember what that part was about.
I know she said that he got mad at her for getting the death certificate, which.
No, it was something else that he. I'll have to go back and look, but there was, or she could comment it. There was something else where I remember reading him saying to her.
She said that's my sister-in-law talking to him because she let loose on him.
It was something she was saying to him that they were that wasn't done right or something. I can't remember.
Well, who was supposedly mad?
The
sheriff.
The sheriff. Oh. The sheriff is also the same one that was talking to Jan about.
Mm-hmm. Sheriff Matthew.
He's mad because they caught him not doing his job.
They had him very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he didn't like it. That's exactly what that was. He didn't like it that they were there asking questions, and which they have every right to do when it's their family member, that there is red flags all over this case. And he didn't like it. And you can tell just by the way he was acting, the same with the husband, very controlling type attitude towards women.
Yeah. Well, when you get mad and like and defensive like that, it's because you're putting out false information.
Right.
Giving false information, and the family knows you are, so you're going to do whatever it takes to turn it on. Oh no, you're
you're
gonna get pissed off and aggravated.
right. And the fact that he was trying to figure out what to say, you could tell it just
Mm-hmm.
he was very aggravated.
Yeah.
But the
Because
fact that he's really going to be pissed whenever he walks out of the sheriff's department every day and there sits that billboard.
Yep. And something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna break down. And somebody's
Good.
gonna start talking.
Good. Because somebody needs to tell something, because there is a whole lot of shenanigans going on with this case and cover-ups and stuff not being done properly.
Yep.
Okay, so Vapor says, no. It's not him not doing his job. It's him getting questioned by a woman that is putting him in a position of corruption and breaking the law. Yeah, you could very well tell he does not like, he what is the right way to put this? He doesn't like the fact that a female was questioning him.
Right.
That's what it is.
And finding out that they're corrupted.
Yes. Just the fact of a female coming in there questioning him about his job, his position of authority, he did not like. And that's why he got an attitude with her.
Yep. Well, do your job better. You wouldn't have a female questioning you or doing your job for you.
Exactly. Because it's a shame that the victim's family has to go out and do the investigation that the cops should have been doing.
Yep.
Let's see. I might fall asleep soon, guys. It's been a long day. Yeah, Jana, I'm about to get out of here as well. It's almost 2:00, girl, where me and you are at. Oh, left-handed. He sounds like a child in a grown man's body.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what he sounds like.
You can't handle a female telling you about herself.
That's all it was. So, Jana, I will say thank you for coming in and in the chat tonight, answering everybody's questions.
Thank you, Jana.
So much.
Anytime you want to come up on panel and talk about this, I know you said you had kids and everything sleeping, which is I completely understand. But anytime you want to come in and hang out on the panel with us or just in chat, you're more than welcome to. You know how to contact me on Facebook. I will send you the link to my Discord, because I do have a channel in my Discord for Crystal that we're putting information in there. So I'll send you the link for that as well. And I've dropped a link for Crystal's Facebook group that Jana has put together for her. Jana's putting in a lot of good information in there, basically multiple times a day from what I've seen. So y'all go over there, join that. Matter of fact, let me get the link one more time and post it in here for y'all, just in case some of y'all missed it. The link to the petition and everything, I believe, is in the Facebook group. Give me just 1 second, y'all. Let me type this out, what it's for. Okay. If y'all have not done so, go sign the petition so the family can get answers for Crystal. And Jana, you're very welcome. It is Sheriff Matthews Vapor for West Carroll Parish. Thank you, Metamom. Metamom also just dropped the link for the petition. And Jana, is there a certain number of signatures that y'all are trying to get on the petition? I know some people, they go for a certain number. I didn't see a certain number that y'all were looking for, just that how many y'all had. Okay, so they're trying to get 5,000 signatures. Okay. So we have also shared that on Twitter. I shared it. Metamom shared it.
I'll share it when I get off.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it too.
Okay, yeah, she tagged both of y'all in the post also. Metamom did. So y'all share it out, and maybe we can surpass that 5,000 signatures. I'm gonna leave that pulled up. This off my screen now. All right, so yeah, I'm about to get out of here. It's almost 2:00, y'all.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jana, for coming and answering our questions. And I'm going to go down so you can say your goodbyes. And
Okay.
thank you for having me up.
Oh, well, thank you for coming up. And I'm pretty sure after we dig more into this, we're going to have a million more questions.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good night, y'all.
Okay, have a good night. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump down too.
Okay, well, thank you for coming up.
Yep.
I
It
hope
was fun, and I hope we get justice for Crystal.
for sure.
So, all right.
All right, well, thank you for coming up, Betty Jo. You have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay, Vapor, I will. Okay, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us, being in here with Gina while she's telling her story for her sister. Join the Facebook group, sign the petition, get the word out, spread it everywhere on all your social media. That's the least we can do for the family. But I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you all later.